In this episode of Geocaching Adventures, we bring you to experience a memorable geocaching and touring day to wrap up our time in St. Petersburg, from the palace of Catherine the Great to an amazing canal tour through the center of the city with a geocache and crazy lunch fun in there too. Now, take it easy on the vodka, Chuck, and join us for another awesome episode of Geocaching Adventures. Up and at 'em, and on the buses for day 2 of St. Petersburg, our group arrived at the Palace of Catherine the Great just as it was getting ready to open for the day. Moving on in our tours of St. Petersburg, we are at the Palace of Catherine the Great. The Catherine Palace is located 30 kilometers south of St. Petersburg in Pushkin. This breathtaking series of rooms was completed in 1756 and is gilded with over 100 kilograms of gold and was completely renovated 6 times until it finally met the approval of the Empress. Welcome to the main hall of Catherine the Great's palace in the Russian Baroque style. Amazing. The palace was demolished by the German army in World War II and has since been rebuilt through tireless efforts of many Russians. Our group marveled at the beauty inside the palace and then toured the gardens on our way to see Catherine's own Hermitage. So this behind me is the Hermitage of Catherine the Great, where she entertained. It's specifically just for having parties and musicians play. There's a moat and a drawbridge around here, so you could only come to the party when you were invited. Well, a party for us means it's geocaching time. So our 2 buses have stopped for probably the only traditional cache we'll get in St. Petersburg area. But here we go as a group. We're gonna go find it. Get our group name. Hey, Chuck! It's Chuck! And we'll get that cache, get our name on it, and head back on the bus. And ta-da!
Found it. What was it?
A very unique Russian geocache.
Let me take a photo of that. Found.
Yeah, nothing like stealthy, eh?
Really?
Well, they can't see it now.
We're doing maintenance.
There we go. So there you go, guys. Our Russian geocache. Another souvenir. We're going to head back to the buses. We are going to go have a traditional Russian lunch. Then we're going to go out on the boats and tour the canal. So I'll show you a little bit of video from that. And we're going to try and get an earth cache. That'll wrap up our day. We're going to head back to the ships and off to our next port. And then we arrived at Podvor'ye, an unforgettable lunch experience. We had food, we had friends, we had entertainment, and we had vodka. To our geocaching adventures in St. Petersburg, Russia. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Cache safely and cache often. After finishing lunch and more fun than should be legal at the astounding Podvor'ye restaurant, we boarded our buses and headed back into St. Petersburg for our canal cruise to the Neva River. A Russian port city on the Baltic Sea, St. Petersburg was the imperial capital for 2 centuries after being founded in 1703 by Peter the Great. It remains Russia's cultural center. The Podvor'ye Canal is the longest canal in St. Petersburg and at one time was the southern limit of the city. You can travel the 8-kilometer length flowing into the Neva River not far from the Baltic Seaport. The canal was dug in 2 sections, first in 1769 to 1780 and then from 1805 to 1833. Well, thanks for enjoying St. Petersburg with us. This wrapped up our unforgettable visit to this stunning city.
Now make sure to join us for episode 9 when we bring you to Tallinn, Estonia to find some fantastic geocaches and to meet JP Barr of JP's Geodesigns. But until then, please like and subscribe, and most importantly, cache safely and cache often.